Yo, hey guys, welcome back. Bomb here. It has been a minute. I do apologize. I feel like that's like my slogan now. But I want to tell you guys a story about where I've been mentally. I've been playing a lot of card games recently. Not only have, I've been tryharding Digimon, I'm still playing Pokemon on the side. I am trying to get good at Yu-Gi-Oh! Again. I've been playing a lot of Gate Ruler too, and I've been trying to play Final Fantasy TCG as well because my friends play that, and I've just been lately dabbling a lot in card games, and I found that has been a really good way for me to just relax and have fun and not stress too much about making a bunch of content, which is good because obviously like I don't need this to be my job or anything like that. This is just for fun, letting kind of showing my passion to others so that you can know that you don't have to just play one card game. You can have fun playing multiple different card games, and that's what I've been doing a lot lately. So between this has been my main, obviously, because I've been trying to compete in tournaments with this stuff, and we're going to talk about tournaments and stuff in a second. This is going to be a very comprehensive look at Mastemon, why I love it, why it's my favorite deck, and not only that, I also have this big stack of cards here, which is going to be other options I have tested and other options I have taken out and don't like and whatnot. So we're going to save that for last, obviously. We're going to do the deck profile first, but what I'm trying to say is because I've been playing so many different card games, I've been really in the mindset of instead of testing a bunch of different decks, make a video on the deck and just continue my life from there. I find it more satisfying for myself to just stick to one deck for the format and grind it to the ground so I know every little bit of it, every little thing that could matter, all that stuff. And that's what I've been doing for Mastemon. Since release, I have been playing Mastemon. And it is the deck I've been looking forward to the most since it's been released in Japan. I think it has the coolest mechanic. I think it has, I think Jogress or Digifusion, whatever you want to call it, is really, really strong and really cool. And I just like all the cards that are in this deck list. And I'm very happy to be playing it to the ground after competing in the Philly Regionals, where I did unfortunately run into a lot of bad luck. Because I've been competing with this deck a lot. I've been topping a lot of online stuff, and I haven't played any online regionals because I keep missing the sign up. But I've been topping a lot of online stuff. I've been topping locals literally every week playing this deck that I've gone. And I have been grinding to the ground against my friends. Like, overall, I've had a lot of success. Unfortunately, when I ran into locals, I just bricked really hard against Imperial 3 times. And I won one of those matchups, so I did go 5-2. So it wasn't the worst thing in the world. But unfortunately, I bubbled out of top 32. It is what it is. And yeah, we're going to go ahead and talk about the list. Yeah, why not? Like I said, I played this deck to the ground. I know pretty much the ins and outs of this list, how to work with everything, what I've liked, and honestly, I can't wait to show you guys some of the spicier techs I've been putting in here to deal with this new EXO2 meta. Now, keep in mind the EXO2 meta did just start. I tested a lot against D-Reaper, but I didn't really get a chance to test against much else before Philly Regionals. So I only have tested so much in EXO2, but EXO2 doesn't really change too much. D-Reaper is the only major deck. You could argue Crimson Mode. You just have to be careful. The other decks that are released, like Beelzemon, Gargamon, Gallantmon, stuff like that, they're not. Oh, and of course Renamon. They're not really doing anything that other decks haven't done before, so you're not having to change anything for them. The only cards you have to be wary about is D-Reaper because you are playing on a timer, so you have to have options to deal with that deck. But other than that, deck's pretty much the same. I do have options to deal with D-Reaper, and I want to talk about more options at the end of the video, things I want to test, because obviously testing never ends, right? So let's go ahead and get right into it. We're going to start with the eggs. Of course, we are playing 4 Demi-Mera. I know people want to play in 1 Yarrow, of course. Ooh, there is still a glare. I thought I moved enough of the table to where there wouldn't be a glare anymore. And let's see if I can. There we go. So there's the argument of playing 4 Yarrow versus 4 Demi-Mera. Demi-Mera I like a lot more, just because if I have those, because you're playing a deck that's mostly level 5s, a lot less level 4s, you know how it is. So I like the added consistency that Demi-Mera gives me almost no matter what, because all I have to do is be deleted, which means if I want to swing with a rookie that I don't feel like is that useful in the game, boom, swing, die, get a few draw, and then discard something, which is very good. So of course, and then Yaramon gives you the on attack draw one, trash one. Only really good if you have a yellow Digimon on board, which is, you know, sometimes the difficulty is finding that yellow Digimon. But overall, eggs, I don't think I want to change them. I don't think I would want for Nyaramon. Mostly because I should also mention that, like, Mastemon has 2 different builds. There's the builds that play a little bit more of the mid-range, and by mid-range I mean level 4 guys in the deck list, and that play yellow rookies. And then there's the build that is not that, and that's what I'm doing right now. Mostly because I find that yellow rookies, even though they add you like evolution power and what's the word? They give you more of a mid-range, I suppose, because you get the ability to gain a little bit of memory off purple drops with the Litmon and Candlemon, I should say, and then Salamon can actually help you Jogress mid-game, but overall, I don't really like what that does for the deck because it does actually take away a bit of consistency as far as using some of your options, which I find help you the most in this matchup, purple memory boost and whatnot, which I was playing at 4 for a while, but I did cut down to 3, spoilers for that, I guess. But yeah, I am playing the list that is all purple bottom, I should say. So let's go ahead and talk about the rookies. Because of D-Reaper, we are playing Psychmon. Something I actually didn't know in my testing was that there was an errata to Daddy D-Reaper, and unfortunately, that just is what it is. Psychmon's still very strong in the matchup though. They can't play their what's it called? Their searchers for one. They can't reduce the cost of most of their guys actually. So Psychmon's super duper good. Still in that matchup, slows them down tremendously, gives you time to find the stuff that you want to find. I am playing also for Gazis because I don't want to lose to Imperial gaining memory all the time, or other decks that gain a bunch of memory, such as Armor, which is actually really annoying. Armor is super annoying if they can get that massive aggression on you really, really early game. So having access to both of these floodgates is why I think purple is super strong right now. They have 2 of the strongest floodgates in the game, honestly. So this also helps against Beelstar, which is sometimes a problem for this deck, so just having this down early or late game or throughout the game is super good. You can obviously cut them down if you'd like, but I like having the security of finding them as early as possible. Also, it helps against Imperial. What I like to do is Imperial is literally have them both out on the board, because this means they can't play their Stingmon for 3 cost, and this means they can't gain memory so that they can actually play down their Stingmon for 4 cost. So even if they have a Davis Tamer down, if they don't have a way to get the green Digimon down immediately, you have both of these things down, they can't Hammer Spark, and they can't play Stingmon for 3, so they won't be able to Jogress that turn. That's why I love playing the 4/4 count. It's just so good, dude. These floodgates are super good in the meta right now. So I'm playing a 4/4 line, and I am playing 2 Taper. Now, this is actually something I just changed after the regional, because I bricked twice at the regional, and I have not bricked that much in this deck list. So Taper has replaced some techs, right? I was actually playing just these 8s for a while, because 8 was like good enough for me, because 8 combined with all your other starters and Gatomon and Memory Boost was good enough for me. I was usually fighting a starter immediately, but twice at the regional I bricked off just level 5s, and it was super annoying because it was always against the matchup I could not afford to brick against. You can afford to brick against some matchups like Yellow Hybrid and whatnot, which is, you know, it's fine. I wish I played more Yellow Hybrid. I throttled all of them, it was great. But unfortunately you can't afford to brick against some other matchups. So now I'm at 10 rookies with playing 2 Tapers. I took out, I guess I'll tell you what I took out whenever we get there, but this is what I'm playing for now. This 1 Taper was good. 2 Taper is something that was post Philly regionals. So we'll see how it does in the future, but I'm pretty confident in it right now. And now that's it for level 3s. Level 4 is pretty small package. We're just playing 4 Gatomon and 1 Black Gatomon. Pretty self-explanatory here. Black Gatomon is your rush guy. You can also evolve him if you have a Nyaramon egg, so that you can swing with this thing for 6k, and if it dies, doesn't really matter. You still get to draw 1, trash 1. Helps you cycle, I guess, but overall, you just play it because that's rush. Honestly, if it didn't have rush, I wouldn't play this at all. And then we are playing for Gatomon. Terrible hard play unless you're going exactly first and you open it, and your opponent won't have time to respond unless they want to do something silly to get rid of it, like play a really big option card, or that's it really, because they can't attack on their first turn. So they can't beat over this on their first turn. So if you go first and you open this, you are chilling, big chilling. Especially if you actually hit things off of it, then you have a really good follow-up turn. I beat against black blockers at the regional. It was really funny because black blockers play MagnaAngemon. And MagnaAngemon is like impossible for this deck to deal with outside of Chaos Degradation. And luckily for me, I opened Gatomon when I was forced to go first, and we were able to pop off turn 1. We got like almost double Mastemon on board by turn 3. It was really wild, and that actually helped a lot because they haven't found MagnaAngemon early. But yeah, of course, you play it for all the good reasons. In case you guys are curious why you play it, you can read the card. You can pause and read once I focus. There we go. Pause and read the card. Everything about this card is insane. There you go. And that is it there. Now for level 5s. I guess the most important one we need to talk about is, of course, Lady Devimon. This card is so important that I played 4. And I played 4 for a long time. Until Philly Regionals happened, and I literally opened 3 and a Lucemon and a Mastemon. And I literally couldn't do anything. And that's when I realized maybe I should cut this down, because realistically you only want to get this off once or twice a game. The problem is if you don't find this card, you are very behind, which is why I played it at a 4-up for a while. But Tamermon is almost the same combined with a rookie. You're still drawing 2 with a rookie, but instead of discarding 2, you're only discarding 1. So that's my argument for the time being why I'm only playing 3 now. But you really need to find this. It's good because you can draw 2 Dry Shoe, of course, but it's also good because you can delete rookies when you're a Mastemon and you just want to end the turn with a Flame Hell Scythe. Like if you have a Mastemon on board and you have this underneath it and you play Flame Hell Scythe, you're popping 3 guys. You're popping a rookie with this because you played an option. You're popping something with your Flame Hell Scythe, and then you're playing a Digimon from your trash, which means you're popping something using Mastemon's ability. So it's insane how much board clear potential this has, combined with the fact that you can have some real strong aggression if you have the right guys underneath your Mastemon. Overall, Lady Devimon, one of the most important cards. I guess we'll just keep all the level 5s out. There's going to be a lot of them though. There's that. I am playing a 1-up of this card. I only play this because it's 6k DP. It's also 6 cost, so if you have to play it down, you can. It does give all your yellow Digimon Retaliate, which has actually mattered. It means that your opponent can't just beat over your guys unless they're gonna die, unless they want to die as well, which is really strong. And you only play this because Flame Hell Scythe gets a 6k body out of board. So if you're bricking on yellows and you don't have a lot of purples, you can just Flame Hell Scythe, Lady Devimon, and then still Jokers at the end of the turn with Gatomon. So you play 1 of this, of course. And you are playing 2 Lucemon Chaos Mode. Everybody agrees 2 is just the right number. 3 is too many. 4 is way too many. I do hard play this card a lot though, especially against Yellow Hybrid. Yellow Hybrid, my game plan is really just burn them out of their Tamers. Between Mastemon and Chaos Mode, I literally just play this guy over and over and over again, as well as Sword Defeat, to just pop their whole board of Tamers, so that even when it comes to late game and I want to Creepymon them to death, which I play Creepymon, they can't play Susanoo because they don't have enough memory because they don't have yellow Tamers on board. That's how I beat. It was really. I wish I was able to record my games, bro. I had a really cool matchup versus Yellow Hybrid at Philly Regionals where that's exactly what I did. I burned them out of all of their Tamers. They didn't get a single Tamer, and then I Creepymon them for game. And they had the Susanoo. I know they had the Susanoo because they kept getting it out of their security with what's it called? With TK, but I didn't even give them a chance to evolve in the Susanoo because I kept popping their Tamers. And I kept memory choking them because I was popping their Tamers. It was wild. And of course, as far as the other level 5s go, we are playing 3 Magna. Now, something I did try for a little bit, but quickly cut, was playing 4 Magna. Mostly because I find that in the D-Reaper matchup, you just want to out-heal them, right? If you can have more health than they have the ability to swing with Reaper, then you're good. Just in case you don't have Flame House Scythe. If you do have Flame House Scythe, then you're just chilling because all you need is this Angemon in security in the trash. Because if you have Flame House Scythe, you pull up Angemon and then you stun the Reaper, and then they can't swing for the rest of the turn. Then they just have to pass because they can't reduce cost anymore. They can't do much anymore at that point. So if you can heal enough to where you eventually get Hell Scythe in security, you're big chillin'. But even if you can't get Hell Scythe in security, as long as you can keep the Magna, as long as you keep your health higher than they have the ability to beat you in 1 turn, you're also good. So of course, this guy also gives you security attack +1, which is another way if you want to rush the game down. Also helps around the guy that, what's it called? The one that gives your whole board -1 check in D-Reaper. If they have one of those down, you can still check a security if you need to with Angemon. Against that card, I kind of like to do double Hell Scythe if I can. I have honestly thought about playing cards that can help reduce DP, which I'm actually going to show you in a second. What I've been playing and what I actually have really liked for the Philly Regional specifically, that I think is a great tech against a lot of the meta right now that nobody really is playing that much. But that aside, we'll get there when we get there. Angemon. Against the guy, because he has 10k DP, which is really high. So you have to either Chaos Degradate it, or you have to DP deplete it enough. I have considered playing cards that are minus DP on play, like Angemon from like set 1 that does -3k on play, which is actually pretty decent for getting rid of some smaller guys on board, combined with like if you want to help board clear even faster. It also pairs well with some other cards that I'm playing, which I'll show you in a bit. So it's just something I've thought about playing recently. I haven't actually tested it yet, but it's a thought. Moving on, that is all the yellow 5s. Of course, we are going to go ahead and move on to level 6 and 7. We of course are playing for Mastemon because card is the best. It is just purely the best. It is such a cool card. You read it if you don't know what this deck does, in case you're watching this not knowing how Mastemon works. I'm not going to explain it because it's a lot to explain. Card is really strong. It's all you got to know. It's the point of the deck. Other cards I am playing, as I'm playing 1 Ophanimon. I really like 2. Had to cut down for 1 for space. I would play 2 if I had more card slots. Card is also crazy because there's so many games where I just evolve into this Ophanimon and just pop it myself using return whatever that card's called that pops one of your guys to get 2 cards from trash, just so I can summon Godamon from trash and then continue my plays from there. Or I summon Godamon, the black Godamon that has rush, and win the game from there. Putting this on top of security attack +1 as well is really strong. 12k is really good. Being able to recover 1 is really good. Overall, excellent card. I wish I could play more of, but unfortunately space is an issue. One card that is amazing out of 1 of is Creepymon. Literally wins me so many games in so many matchups. Actually wins me against D-Reaper too, because sometimes D-Reaper has to dig really hard to find their daddy Reaper, and then you punish them at the end of the game by just trashing a bunch of their deck, which I find really strong. It's also be able to evolve, and if they have a lot of Digimon on board, that's another way to summon Lucemon Chaos Mode from your trash. Because if they have 2 Digimon, you can summon any level 5 from your trash, including Lucemon Chaos Mode, so you can evolve, pop a Tamer, attack, mill their deck as well, and just be an 11k body that's actually 14k after the attack as well. So very, very strong card. And I'm down to 1 of Zwart Defeat. Once again, I should probably pull out the card since we're going to be talking about it eventually. Anyways, Calling from the Darkness, that's what it's called. Calling from the Darkness is the only reason why I am playing Zwart Defeat at all. Card is usually a brick, but being able to pop Tamers is nice, and whenever you are stuck in those situations where you just want to pop your own guy, you can pop your own guy, recover some pieces, and also pop something on board, because Zwart Defeat obviously has the ability to pop on board. If it comes out of security, that's nice. It's just really hard to control and completely unnecessary, because not only do you want it to come out of security, you want it to come out of security while Mastermind's on board, and you can't guarantee either of those things. So that's just too much. That's too much RNG for me to care about playing this at a higher count. Calling from Darkness is just so good. Popping stuff, being able to recur stuff like your Lady Devimon, Godamon, and whatnot. So that is, I believe that is it for Digimon. Yeah, I'm just making sure my deck is organized. Now we're going to talk about Tamers, and then we'll go into options, right? And then after that, we'll talk about this pile of cards I have over here that are cards I've played and liked and didn't like. So Kairi Kamiya, I am down to a 2 of. Obviously you play this card because when you recover, you can tap it to gain a memory, which is good whenever you want to play MagnaAngemon hard from your hand. That makes it a 6 cost. Most other players have the memory Tamer on the board, so you are essentially playing a card for, you're playing a card, you're getting all the value without giving your opponent any extra memory that they wouldn't need, right? So you play this at a 2 of. Most players play it at a 3 of. I also want to play it at a 3 of once again, but I really wanted to test this for the tournament, and my god, did it pay dividends. This card is really strong in this deck for this tournament. 4, count them 4, TK and Kairi. Card is nuts, right? So because this deck loses really hard to aggression, This deck loses really hard to aggression. This is kind of like a pseudo blocker, right? They don't want to attack you while this is on board, because this combined with this means you have 5 memory, which means you do literally get a free Gatomon hard play. Most players can't play Gatomon hard because they don't have the memory, right? But with this, you can easily play it and not be punished either, because you can probably pop off from there. And more importantly, in this D-Reaper meta, you can swing and just pop all of their like Reaper guys, right? Because they're all low DP. So you can, having one of these means every pop means you're killing a searcher, which is great. Having 3 of these means you are killing most of their other guys, Bubbles and the one that like looks at the top 3 and stuff like that. Obviously you can't kill Jerry, but Jerry taps itself, so you can just attack over most of the time. But yeah, I want to find 3 in every game, because if you find 3 in every game, you can clear D rewards. But it doesn't stop there. If you find 2, the bane of your existence, MagnaAngemon, being 8k DP, is now able to be deleted with Flame Health Scythe by simply swinging with any yellow Digimon, tapping 2, putting it in 6k DP range, and then you kill it with Flame Health Scythe, which is actually amazing for this deck. This at the very least, I'd want to play it as a 3 of. 4 is just so I can find it because of how powerful this card is. And you know how everybody thinks Chaos Degradation sucks because as a security check, it just gives your opponent more security? That's so good for you, because now you proc the TK and Kyrie just by checking it in security, because they literally can't play around that. So because like that means that if you're swinging just to get them down, because you don't want to stop yourself from swinging just to gain memory, they're going to play around that, so you might as well continue your aggression, right? If they start swinging and they hit into a chaos degrade in the security and that gains them memory, all of a sudden this starts proccing now, because they can't do anything to stop that unless they're playing like Blinding Ray or something, or TK, and they take a card out without recovering. So it's really hard for them to play around that, which means that you get all the value while also continuing to do minus 1k on the board. And if you get the God scenario against Imperial and you have all 4 down, that kills their Stingmon. That's awesome. You just kill their Stingmon on swing, because you know how they do with Imperial and they get a big board. I think it kills their XVmon too. I think XVmon is also 4k. So I love this. At the moment I'm testing it at 4, and I only recently put it in and I loved it. I'm gonna keep testing it. I might go down to 3 at some point, just because, you know, obviously I really want to have this early, or maybe I just want to make more space for other cards. But at the moment, I have been a huge fan of this. So we'll see how far it takes me, right? Now that we are EX02 and I played this deck to the ground, I don't know how much longer I want to play this deck, but oh boy, am I excited to keep playing it. And obviously we talked about Flame Health Scythe, literally the best card in the deck. Minus 6k, and then you can summon a guy that can do minus 2 on the board, recover 1, or get a Gatomon to extend your plays and search as well. So obviously this card right here is insane. It's just dumb. It also plays around armor because it's DP depletion, I should say. So overall, really good. One card I was playing at a 4 of for a long time, but now I'm down to a 3 of, was Purple Memory Boost. Had to make space, unfortunately. But the card's insane. It's a really good opening play. You can search for Gatomon and you can search for Lady Devimon, the 2 most important cards in the deck. And you can search for rookies in matchups where you need those rookies. So obviously, this gives you a lot of value. Also, you can gain the memory so that if you have a Kyrie on board, you can pop one of these to be at 5 memory to hard play a Gatomon and then evolve and do all the shenanigans that happen whenever you have Gatomon on board. Unfortunately, 4 was awesome, but space was needed. Also, the reason why I liked having 4 was Avenged Kidmon is so popular now. I like actually having a lot of options in the deck, so that if my opponent is trying to rush me in the deck out game, I can put all of these options back in the deck myself as well by burning them really quickly, just for the sake of putting them in trash. And then if I expected Avenged Kidmon to come, I would still have a big deck. It's actually really useful for that. Other cards I'm playing, only 2 of Chaos Segregation. I really did not like this card for a long time, but you're forced to play it. It's really strong against decks that you absolutely have to get rid of their bodies for, especially now when there is that, once again, D-Reaper guy that gives your whole board minus 1 check. You want to make sure you can get rid of that card. This is like one of the more reliable ways to do it. X antibodies exist. A fighter mode exists if you can't beat over it, or you just have to get rid of it. Sometimes opponents get a little overzealous with their one stack and you just have to get rid of it. Like, this is your only out to do that stuff. And our one outs, we have one Calling from Darkness and one Reinforce. Reinforce is still good. Recovery is still good. You mostly play it for the delay of 3 memory. And then Calling from Darkness. I played it at a 2-of for a while. Card's insane. Cut it out, cut it away from a 2-of, but I really did like Calling from Darkness. Very, very strong card in this deck. Because then, like, the cool thing about Calling from Darkness is not only can you choke your opponent to 1, but more importantly, you can hard play your Gato and be comfortable doing it, because even if they delete it, you can Calling from Darkness to get it back. So that is it for the deck list. Now we're going to talk about cards that I liked and that I stopped playing after a while. And also cards that I didn't like in my testing. We're going to start with these cards, the Yellow Rookies. Why did I not like the Yellow Rookies? Well, the Purple Memory Boost is such an important card of this deck, and these Yellow Rookies means you can't play them, because if you evolve them in Raising, then you no longer have a purple guy on board, and if you don't have the purple guy on board, you can't use your purple options, which kind of sucks. The Salamon end of your turn DNA evolution thing is nice. It hasn't come up that much, and Candlemon, the 1 memory will very rarely keep it your turn. It doesn't keep it your turn all the time, and it doesn't choke your opponent down as much as you would like. So it does work though, don't get me wrong. I think the build that plays these cards is perfectly good. I think the build is fine. For what I'm trying to do personally, I don't like them. But that's because I value the floodgates too much, and I value the memory boost too much. So that's why I'm not playing them, but these are perfectly fine cards in their own list, especially in the list that plays stuff like Wizardmon and like higher counts of Black Gatomon that have the evolutions that want to do the things, you know how it is. So there's that. Continuing on the Digimon train, let's talk about some level 4s that I really liked. Obviously, a second Black Gatomon would be good, just because, you know, gives you more level 4s that you can evolve up in case you have those awful bricking situations. For a while, I actually did play and really appreciated the Eismon package. Because Eismon, it's a 4 cost, so it's easy enough to hard play if you're bricking anyways. Obviously, they can't just delete it willy-nilly, or else you get the value, right? And you can evolve it on top of your other guys as well. Obviously, this was cut because of space. But like, I was playing it at a 2-1 count, and it's been great. Especially this card, since you discard so much into your deck, you can even discard this just to proc the discard effect for this Eismon. Because being able to hard play this and then, or not hard play this, use the ability to play it and then just evolve it into a Lady Devimon was good enough for me, honestly. Of course, space has been an issue. If you don't like some of the cards in this list, I would say try these out. Even at a lower count, this is still a good card. Just adds consistency. I mean, who doesn't like consistency, right? One of my favorite things to play in this build, specifically because of Red Hybrid, Red Hybrid, was the Leomon, dude. And this card is so funny, because what this card does is, at the end of the battle, if you have 3 or fewer security cards, recover +1. So as long as this isn't exactly your 5th check, you are always recovering off this card. Now, you're probably wondering, who cares about a 1 of recovery on a body that's hard to play and hard to evolve from and hard to do anything with? Well, 2 reasons. 1, when you're playing Mastemon, you can look at your security, right? So you know what's in there. So if you know that you have cards that you want to play out of your security, you can actually recover the Leomon, leave it in the security, and then play something else, and all of a sudden you have a recovery. And 2, the reason why this is such a good surprise factor versus the hybrid matchup with like Ancient Grey and Aldemon and stuff like that, is because this is not an option card, it's a Digimon. So their Aldemon that stops security effects from proccing does not work with Leomon. So when they're trying to go for their OTK turns, where they're just trying to kill you in 1 turn, and they do not account for the fact that Leomon's in there to recover, they actually miss lethal in a lot of games, which is really funny. Unfortunately, I took it out because I thought Red Hybrid was going to be a little bit less popular than it is, which, you know, debatably is true. There was a few tops though, which is kind of why I'm concerned and might put it back in the list. But yeah, it's actually really funny and really strong against Red Hybrid. That's the only reason why I play it, because the deck struggles a lot with Red Hybrid, obviously. Most decks that are combo struggle with Red Hybrid. Other cards I am playing. a second Zort as well. And the reason why I bring this up is because I was for a little bit playing Tactical Retreat because it works with both Zort and it also works with Leomon. I took it out alongside Leomon and the second Zort, but it is an option just to make your security a little bit stronger. With Kyrie, it is free as well, something to keep in mind. I have mentioned this a few times before, but I did want to play a 4th memory boost, a 3rd Kyrie, and a 2nd Calling from Darkness. We already discussed all of these. Like them all for all the reasons I've discussed already. In this EX02 meta, I have thought about playing a 3rd Angemon because it's imperative that you find it against D-Reaper before they beat you. Other than that, being able to check security a lot quicker with its -1 or +1 ability, inheritable, is really strong. So I have considered playing a 3rd Angemon. I would not cut a Magna for it, but it is something I've considered. And then last 2 cards I want to talk about, Dead or Alive. I actually don't like this card, just straight up don't like it. It's too annoying because as an option card, it sucks early. And as a security card, it sucks early. And that's like, you can't rely on things being in security early or late or at all, right? So Dead or Alive, not a big fan. And then one card I really want to test, but I haven't yet because in my head, it's 2 win more for me, but I do like it a lot, is Metal Garu. So this is an old school favorite, obviously. Digiburst 2, use a purple option card, the memory cost of 7 or less from your hand without paying its cost, right? So you can play double Flame Hellscythe for free, which I think is awesome, and really good against these D-Reaper decks. Really good just to get like a Black Gato and then a Magna, and then you evolve the Black Gato for 1, and then you can Jogres immediately. It's very win more, but it's very cool, and I actually can't wait to give this an actual try. I don't think it's gonna do that well compared to the other megas, but you know, it's a food for thought, right? And that's it, guys. The last card was like a 3rd Taper because consistency, baby. But that's it. Thank you guys for watching. I will try to get more content out there. It's gonna mostly focus on decks I actually play. I played this to the ground. I've also played a lot of Yellow Hybrid, so we can talk about Yellow Hybrid if you guys want me to. I'm sure less of you are interested in that though. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, share all that good jazz. Don't forget to check out the other 2 channels I have. I have a Gate Ruler channel now and a One Piece TCG channel. I haven't uploaded anything to the One Piece channel yet, but I do weekly Gate Ruler vlogs because those are really easy to make on the Gate Ruler channel. If you're interested in the Gate Ruler TCG, there you go. You can the vlogs and the gameplay and whatnot. It's fun. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Do all the stuff, and I'll see you guys next time.